Hey folks, RB here. So big sale day today, and just wanted to record an update for everybody. And I'm gonna cover, the indexes and probably the Mag 7 as well to where they are, and what's possible for the next few days. As with any correction, there is always a conversation about is the top end, are we heading into a larger correction, and where do we go from here, right? So gonna cover. Let's start with SPX or US 500, and just see where we are, how the structure looks like at this point. Is there a possibility to make a new high, or are we just gonna shift into a correction? So first thing first, I mean, we have talked about this rally a couple of times in the previous videos that there are like number of ways to kind of count this, right? So we have talked about like a one, two, three, four, but we thought that this five is too extended, and I personally don't like it. And then we were looking at a formation as a one, two, or a one, two, one, two, and then we are in some sort of a wave three, and and we have more upside to it, right? So things haven't changed, honestly, at least on the SPX side. If you go back and review my post, I talked about 5595 and 5576 as the critical levels, and if you see, we are just landing into that level as of now, as of today, with this sell, having this huge gap up open, right? And if I just go into a little bit deeper, for the last few days I've been posting that I'm very uncomfortable doing any longs, but specifically when this 5650 target was met or a new high was made and we sold off, right? My expectation was that this correction should come something like this, and that's what I kind of posted for my weekly post, that we should first touch 5 and 9 5, and maybe then there is further up, or maybe we'll do something like this and go down, right? So there were a few ways which I was looking at unfolding, but unfortunately for the last 2 days, even after making this dip, there was one more high, right? So that kind of looked very fishy, and I was of the opinion that probably is trying to do some kind of ending diagonal and just trying to hit maybe the top of the line, or maybe 5700 as a magnet, and then the sell will come. So I was just holding on to any longs because there wasn't any much risk reward to kind of enter it, and overnight we got this 50-point sell. Of course, the opportunity to enter after that is, not a great opportunity, right? So, right. So, now coming to again to the level. So we yet haven't even broken 5576. That's just a first sell. Now, if I have to kind of look from the count perspective, and there are many ways to look into it. I can say that okay, probably after this one, two, three, four, five, probably this was my third wave, fourth wave, and here, when I completed this fifth wave, this became my A, probably a B and a C, like a flat correction. That's one way of looking at it, because otherwise it doesn't even make sense of why we had this high or this high, right? I can simply say that this is my ABC leg, like this, and it can be considered as an expanded flat wave for correction for this, which means from tomorrow we again start building for the new high, right? A very good possibility here. Now when we talk about change of a structure, right? So we want to hit you know a daily lower low here, right? And then we say that okay, once that's achieved, let's see if we can get a lower high, right? Basically coming over to this range again, closing the gap, and then going back down, right? Whether that's an A, B, C, or a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a larger correction, right? I mean, that's yet to be seen. So it would be hard for me to right now say, oh, yeah, the top is in and we are now, turned into beer, and let's go short on everything, right? So we are not at that stage right now. This is very much expected correction, which I stated again in the weekly post. It came 2 days late. Right, but the levels, from the levels perspective, we are still in the territory that we expected that we will be in, in this week, right? So that's an SPX perspective, and we'll see what happens tomorrow, right? So if 5575, 5576 holds, we start bouncing back. Let's see what kind of structural formation we form, whether it's an ABC corrective, or again we are forming impulsive legs again and everything goes green from here, right? So something to look for. And now when I go to QQQ or US 100, that again, I mean, we talked about in QQQ, we talked about 482 as a level, and if you see, it's coming right just back to the demand that I marked in the post, and shared my levels on that. Okay, once we break through 493, we are looking at a drop into 482. I mean, 487, 490. 490, 487, 482. These were the levels, and it actually reached up to the 482 level, right? So again, there might be a little bit of a formation of a wave 4, wave 5 here, hitting a little lower into 480 or so, right? And we want to see that, now if you look into this can also be simply looked as an A, B, and a C leg down, right? So corrective, unless we are looking for some more push down, then bounce up and something like this, right? If that happens, then I'll have to start looking at as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll have one more bounce up, something like that. But for now, my perspective is simple, that we are probably gonna do the small dip, completing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and this leg right here, right, and complete the C leg as a part of zigzag. So we had this impulse down, a B wave up, and another impulse down, right? So A and C are not equal, but that's fine. Still calling this as a zigzag down. Looking, if, like I said, if something changes, the retracement is deeper than what I've marked. We are dropping into 1.68 directly, and which is like 476. Again, there will be a bounce, right? But that bounce will be shallow, and we are making these 5 waves, which is right now nowhere clear from what we have seen in SPX. So this is another hypothesis that this can happen, right? And if this happens, this big structure, then yes, I mean, it's a bigger correction, right? So we want to make sure that this happens, and then there is a bounce for a few days, maybe a week or so, maybe more, and then we have another leg down, right? So we'll get into that if that sort of a structure will form. But right now, our simple expectation is that the C leg will complete somewhere in this demand zone, probably 480 or so. And from here, if we start building and start crossing 487, we'll know that this was a three-step down, and now we are looking at possibly building another 5 waves up, something like that, right? So a lot to kind of work through. I wouldn't just give hopes on bulls as quickly as just one sell. We have had this show many times, right? And every time bulls have come the very next day or a day after to just rally and take us to the new highs, right? And when there will be a shift, when there will be a clear structure, we will be talking about the corrective path and where to take the calls, where to take the puts, and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's SPX and QQQ. Now looking into the two other indexes where the rotation is going on, I talked about DIA. If it's above 409, we are gonna hit somewhere around 414, and I think that's where it's heading right now. Post which it can fall into a little bit of a correction here to 407, and this can continue for a bit. Um, uh, One second, which one is that? Okay. So yeah, so we are currently in a three, and there is a lot more to do right now, right? So Dow is like far from done. So these indexes stay, this index stay still bullish, And looking at IWM, we talked about 226 as the resistance, and above that was 229. We got a small pullback here. Again, very corrective pullback, so I think this is gonna get bought again. If not right from this demand where it's holding right now. Then the next one would be somewhere around this area, right, 219. But potentially, it's holding up into this 221. So we may see another move up going into 229 from here, right, as long as this demand is holding. So again, DIA, IWM stays in the bullish zone for now. Right, and so these are four indexes on the wix side. Let's see, I talked about 14.82. I mean, that has been a resistance for a very long time, and today we got rejected from there again. So if there is another little bit of a pullback like I showed on QQQ, maybe it'll try to break out and then fall back again, coming back to 12.62, right? So that's an expectation from wix. Now coming to some of the Max 7 stocks. Like, I was bullish on Amazon as it was holding up this area, right? And the 192 from where it bounced before. And this particular dip looked like stop hunt, and then we got a new higher high, and I was expecting this higher low to hold, and today should be rally, but no, that did not go as expected, right? Even with the break of structure here, with a higher high, we could not hold into the higher low into the support and the move up, but we got to sell. Now, this whole structure has changed quite a bit, and when I put it into daily, you see there are a lot many overlaps here, right? The Amazon create this choppy structure all the time. Now, though my calls which I took for Amazon are in pain, tomorrow is the prime sales data. I'm just gonna wait for it. If that doesn't work, probably then it's gonna be a lost trade for me. And what I'm looking at from the count perspective with this overlap, the hope here is, or the thought here is that if the data comes in good, this could be another trap because everyone was watching it. They could still trap the sellers here with this sell and taking it to a new high again back into 205, 206, that area that we were targeting, right? In a different way, still work. It's a wave 5, right? So I can look into an ending diagonal being a case there of this wave 5, which is basically been counted like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So that's one option that I'm looking at. But other than that, this was an unexpected drop here, right? Now, other stocks, when we talk about MSFT, it's pretty much into the demand zone. So if there isn't more upside left, right, other than whatever chop has happened here in this area, right, still counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that, right? So the pop should happen right from this area, and it should not drop below 433, right? Because then we have too much of overlap there, and the count is kind of invalid, right? So that would be another reversal, or the stock that I'll be looking at for seeing if there is a change in the overall you know strength in these stocks, right? Nvidia we already talked about, and the many times in the post and the the updates that I've been giving on X as well. 134 was the resistance, and I said if it's unable to cross that one, we are looking at to go back to the previous area. So last time we had 118, and now we are trading a little bit below it, and we have the solid demand here, right? So if this starts consolidating in this area between 115, 116, right? Again, there is new high that can be expected from this. Now, if this goes any further, right, below 106 and all, yeah, that could be looked into as a big drop, which cannot be a 4, and then we are looking at some larger correction into this one, and I'll get back with what format or what kind of targets we are looking at for this drop. Currently, I do not have any open position on semis or any other mag 7. The Amazon was the only position that I was holding, and yeah, so these are some major updates. Let's cover Meta while we are at. This was something which I was trying to be long on last week, and that was another surprise when it didn't hold the 530 and then 511 and started dropping, right? And we said, okay, probably now we are looking at this as an ABC correction, right? We have also talked about this being coming back down to the earning lows here again at 400, 402, something like that as a flat correction, right? So these are still in the works. Again, no current position on this one after it lost the 518, more of a kind of a watch list item to see where it holds. And we'll go from there, right? So trying to understand what it is doing right now. um, Other than this, Tesla still looks all right. I said 246 is the key area. As long as it's hold, it can get into 299. If it loses 246, then we are looking at probably 230, maybe lower again, right? I wouldn't be much bullish after that, but till the time it's holding 246, this could be a 1-2 formation with a 3-4-5 to yet to come. So that's what we are looking at for Tesla. um, Apple. This one, yesterday I called as in that the top could be in, as these five waves could have completed, but I do want to make sure that the 226, 223 zone, this gets taken away and we get a full five waves down till here for me to say that okay, now we are just gonna partially retrace and then gonna uh, 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 come down even further, right? But if you see, I mean, we stopped right at that 226.60 at a 38% and started bouncing, right? Now it's possible that this is the three, this is the fourth, and there is one last one left on Apple to get to the 240 or so, and post that all the counts will complete, and then we are gonna look into the correction going down below like 200 or below. So that's still a possibility until this zone is taken away. So as you can see from what all I've described in the last 20 minutes, it's a very initial stage again, to say that okay, the top is in and we are now heading 5%, 7% down. There may not be a lot of upside on many of these stocks like Apple for here, but still, I mean, there is a lot of invalidation that is required for all these stocks for me to start saying, oh yeah, we are in kind of in a reversal, right? So hope this video helps with this sell. Trade carefully, and if you're not very sure about it, it's always safe to kind of wait to see the reversal structure forming, right? Let's say a reversal structure is forming. If I go back to let's say US 500 or SPX, right? So let's say if this is a one drop and then we get a lower high, right? So you're not losing a lot by not trading this upside. Basically, that gives you an opportunity to close any longs that you might want to close, right? I have quite a few longs which are still green, and I pretty much would want to take an advantage of that, and then start looking at shorts from that area. Or if let's say you miss this whole leg up going to a new high, right? Again, an opportunity for you to exit any of the other longs that you want to exit, because again, like I said, this could be just one last leg before we land into a little more wider correction. So let's say we go into 5700 plus, and then there is a drop. We are looking at 4% drop, 5% drop, coming back to 5500 or 5445, something like that, right? So So that would be a little larger correction than this one. And I would take any of this bounce opportunity to start getting out of the trades that are there on the side of the sectors which are facing the rotation, right? So not every sector is facing a rotation. And if you see how sectors were doing today, you would see XLK was taking the biggest hit of 4%, right? Or communication was down because of Meta, or Amazon was pulling, or Tesla was pulling back. But there are other sectors which are starting to do well from the financial energy standpoint, right? And the consumer staple standpoint, right? So there are a few ones which have started to do well. So would be looking, if you like to do longs, you can be certainly looking at these sectors which are breaking out. Like healthcare has been breaking out, so UNH was like a very big trade for the group this week, and we started along somewhere around 490, and right now it's trading like 570 or so, right? So there are good opportunities. I've talked about other tickers like Home Depot or Lowe's, which are looking pretty good. So there are a lot of other opportunities outside the tech sector. So if you're not comfortable trading the tech and want to see this opportunity to take this opportunity to kind of see what happens, and then either wait for this whole thing to settle down, after this 3 and 4 are complete, and probably wait and long somewhere from the 5500 area. That may be one way to look into it. So just wanted to give you a lot of thoughts and options here to kind of work through, as it fits well for your portfolio, and aligns to whatever trades you are in. And I hope this video helps. This is a little longer than I expected, but wanted to give a comprehensive overview here. So thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye bye.